I'm Jennifer Farrell. Welcome to WolfPeak. So this home was built in 1971 in a beautiful area of the Santa Monica Mountains. Originally, it was a Swiss chalet styled home, which was very popular back in the 70s. But when I found this home in 2018, it had fallen into disrepair, and that Swiss chalet wasn't quite as cool anymore. It kind of looked like an abandoned Wiener Schnitzel. So we decided to create a modern mountain lodge here in the Santa Monica Mountains, starting with our entrance. This home has a huge peaked roof, and that's really the focal point of WolfPeak. We wanted it to be modern and fresh, yet still hearken to the nature around. So we've got these huge 20-foot glass walls that go all the way through to the behind me where you see the view all the way through the house. Because we have that much glass, we really needed the entrance to be a bold statement. So we decided to wrap the entire entryway all the way up to the peak and all the way down to the ground, wrap that all in one faux wood. Now, we are in the Santa Monica Mountains, which is one of the reasons we don't want to put wood on the front of a house if possible, because this is a high fire hazard zone. So I selected a faux wood tile. This tile is 36 inches long by 6 inches wide, so it was just the perfect length to give us this horizontal wrap all the way around the entry of the house. I loved this color. It's a deep walnut, which comes into play once you go inside the house because we'd already decided to do a walnut colored island in the center of the home. So this piece really ties in with what's going to happen inside the house and almost makes a picture frame around this very bold, striking entrance. Let's step inside and check out WolfPeak. So as we step inside the home, we are surrounded by natural light. And one of the things that we really wanted to do here was to create some pattern and play in our tile selections on the floor to kind of bounce that light around a little bit and get some variation. So I actually chose a tile for the great room. Now, as you look around the entire space, you see that the kitchen opens to the dining room, which opens to the living room. So it keeps the whole space really open. That means we chose one flooring material and it runs throughout. Now, all the tile that's inside the house was provided by Floor & Decor, and this particular tile is called Birch Forest Gray. I looked at over 200 different flooring samples to find this particular one. What I was really looking for was a color that was like a bleached driftwood, but I didn't want something that looked manufactured. I really wanted it to have a very natural, organic feel. And the reason I loved this particular tile is even though it has a lot of gray undertones in it, there's also a little bit of warmth. And that warmth really helps bounce the light around, which you can see glowing behind me. So the idea here was to create a floor that is going across the entire space, one particular tile, but used in different ways and in different sizes. That really gave us an opportunity to play with those patterns. This particular tile I liked not only because of the color, but because it has a lot of patterns in it. So when I'm looking at a floor tile, one of the things that I think about, if it's a faux wood like this one, is how many different pattern prints are there? What you don't want when you're trying to create a natural looking floor out of tile to make it look like wood, if there are only a few different patterns in that particular tile, that means that you're going to see the repeat and then everyone's going to know that it's not real wood. Well, this particular tile had a lot of different options, and so the patterns themselves that are printed on the tile come in a big variety. That means that as we put them together, you really couldn't tell that these weren't just natural planks. Now, in the great room, we decided to install this as a herringbone. And even though the tile is actually 36 inches long by 6 inches wide, we cut these pieces to 24 inches long. And I'll explain why. Different patterns and different sizes of herringbone have a different feel. I wanted to give a little more of a traditional sense, and a 24-inch length is something that's a very traditional size when you're doing a herringbone pattern. The reason this space looks so modern is because of the color tones that we chose for the tile. So we've done this in a 6x24 herringbone in the main spaces. But as you go into some of the smaller rooms, like the office, that's where we use those 12-inch pieces that remained to make another herringbone. So we transitioned into the smaller rooms where a 24-inch scale might be a little bit big. Going into those smaller rooms, like the powder room and the office, using the 6-inch by 12-inch, we have this really beautiful, smaller scaled herringbone. It works great in the office, and we even continued that to the outdoor porch. So the floor from the office and from the kitchen is the same material all the way to the outside porch. It's again in that small 6x12 size. So you've got a real indoor-outdoor feel, and by using one tile throughout, it really helps unite the space. Now, let's go take a look at the kitchen. You're going to love the counters. In the kitchen, we have some amazing materials, starting with our island. So I really wanted the center of this home to be the kitchen, as often happens, and I'm a big cook, so I loved the idea of having a giant marble island in the center of the room. The problem is that marble can be porous and can stain. If you're a messy cook like me, that can be tough. So we decided to go with a porcelain slab. Now, if you haven't seen porcelain slabs yet, they are amazing because they're a tile, which means they're non-porous. But there are so many beautiful patterns that they can look like natural stone. The one that we chose is the Arabescato Statuario. That's ultra marmy from Ariostea. And these slabs come in huge sizes, just like granite or Caesar stone would. What's great about this is we were able to do a really big expanse by putting two pieces together, not in a butterfly, but in a continuation pattern. We wrapped this around in a waterfall edge on the side, and by creating this giant centerpiece, it really becomes the anchor for the entire kitchen. So I love this product because it's super easy to keep clean, it's beautiful, you can see how it's reflecting the sunlight that's shining on this glossy surface, but it also comes in a hone finish as well. So this really became the centerpiece and focal point of the kitchen. Then as you look around on our side walls, we chose a relatively common pattern of a subway tile. What's interesting about this particular subway tile is it has some undulation in the actual surface. It's a porcelain tile that's done in an overscaled size of 3x12. So instead of having a typical 3x6, we've gone longer. It gives it more of a modern feel. I also really liked that this particular tile has a bit of a wavy edge to it. So it has a real handmade feel, but it was from Floor & Decor, which means it was at a great price. So we picked a dark grout. It's in a deep charcoal, and I wanted to do that so that we really show off the edges of those tiles. That bit of undulation and the uneven edges gives so much character to this kitchen. So we're trying to bring in character wherever we can and yet do it in a very contemporary way. The colors of the white glossy tile with the charcoal grout really pick up on the white and gray in this countertop material. So the Caesar stone on the perimeter is a great neutral anchor for our side cabinetry. The cabinets are a nice dark gray, and so I wanted to have a clean white surface for some of our prep work. And so those countertops are from Caesar stone. They're number 2141 Blizzard. And Caesar stone is such a great material because as a quartz composite, it is pretty much bulletproof. So it can stay looking bright and white for years to come. We've continued the flooring that's in all of the great room into this space. So we still have that 6x24 herringbone pattern that really picks up on all the rich tones in the room and gives a very interesting floor to bounce up all these other grays and whites in the room. All right, let's go check out some of the bathrooms. We are in the guest bath, and one of the things I wanted to do here was keep the space playful. So you'll see that we've continued the same flooring upstairs, but we're using that smaller pattern again. Remember, we cut off 12 inches off those 36-inch planks, and in doing that, we had these perfect size scraps to be using for the smaller bathrooms and the office. So we've got that herringbone pattern here in the guest bathroom. That's on our floor. Then we used the same material to do the shower dam and to go around our window that's in the bathroom. Kind of ties everything all together. I then wanted to bring in a lot of fun and playfulness, so for the shower stall, I selected a tile that kind of looks like a picket fence. It's a very beautiful, very contemporary feeling version of a very traditional pattern. So this tile is an elongated hexagon. It comes in several different colors. We chose white because we're doing a lot of white and gray tiles. Each pattern is different to each space, but in keeping that white tile with the gray grout look, it really unifies the entire home. So here we've gone again with that deep charcoal grout. A small grout line, but it's enough to really have a lot of impact on this much tile. So that's on the walls of the shower stall. Then on the floor, we decided to do something really exciting inside the shower pan. The pattern is a mixed material, really interesting look that can be laid out in a ton of different patterns. In some rooms, we actually used that pattern again, but we chose to do it in more of a traditional houndstooth. Here in this room, in our shower pan, we've got this really interesting layout of these tiles, so it almost looks like it's a very interesting, exciting, somewhat southwestern pattern. The material actually picks up on some of the faux wood that's in our herringbone tile on the floors. It's got some of those faux wood pieces in this tile here, but it also has marble in this mixed mosaic. So in combining the marble with that faux wood look, we're really picking up on the materials that are throughout the house. As you're standing here in the bathroom, looking out at that gorgeous picture window, what you're surrounded by is a lot of playful pattern, interesting tones and textures, lots of grays and whites, and it really does have a nod to traditionalism, but done in a very contemporary way. All right, on to the master bathroom. The master bathroom is my favorite room in this house. There are so many fun things in this space, including our wet room. So as you enter the bathroom, you'll see that we're using the same floor as throughout the house, but this time we did not cut the tiles. So our faux wood tiles are the full 36 inches long. Then we lay them in a plank style with a random stagger. It really makes it feel like a natural wood floor. That material then transitions into our wet room. Now, a wet room is a room that is completely enclosed for shower and tub, so the entire room is waterproof. We even use a waterproof light fixture in there that's rated for outdoor use, so it would be perfect for the space.